Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we're working on speech anxiety, and we're talking with Sean from Israel. Say hello, Sean.
Hello.
And Sean started stuttering at age 3, and to quote him, he appears clearly disabled in 100% of conversations. He's had other therapies, multiple therapies, which haven't moved the ball. And this is our second Skype. In our first Skype, when I said things, he was really not able to say anything. We drilled short link and stop and crutch 4 for an hour, and roughly, and he did read aloud to us flawlessly. So let's start from the beginning and tell me, what have you been doing on a daily basis to help your speech?
No. No. I've been practicing my speech plan, which is short, link, and stop.
Okay. Has it helped?
Yes.
Okay. Is talking to me like talking to anybody else? I mean, it's pretty much the same everywhere?
No.
Is it harder or easier or the same? Well, for me, harder or easier?
It's harder.
Okay. In a way, that's good. If I hear the worst, I have better ideas probably. Okay. Say after me. When I talk.
When I talk.
And I speak.
And I speak.
In short increments.
In short increments.
And link my words together.
And link my words together.
And say my words.
And say my words.
As if they are one word.
As if they are one word.
I do not stutter.
I do not stutter.
I also stop.
I also stop.
Between. Increments of words.
Increment of words.
I stop for 1 second.
I stop for 1 second.
At least. At least.
At least.
Now, Sean, the reason that you're not stuttering when you repeat my words is because you're not planning your words. It's planning words that gets us in trouble when we have stuttering problem. So the way to not plan words is think about the solution, not the words. You know, it's a hard thing for most stutterers to rely on their brain to pick words because they've developed a habit of censoring their words. They hesitate, think a word, fear it, and force it. 4 steps. And that's their automatic habit. That's your automatic habit. And the way to beat it is to think something else. You got to focus harder on what you want to think than the extent or strength of the automatic habit to plan words. That has its own momentum. But the irony of it is, as soon as you realize that when you don't think about your words or plan them, you can say them because your brain picks them. And all you got to do is let them out. They're like captive for a stutterer. Stutterers don't trust their brains to pick their words, and that's the problem. So, in a sense, while speaking slowly is easier than speaking fast for anybody, stutterer or not, certainly for a stutterer, the speed at which you start speaking, at which you begin, the faster you begin, the easier it is to speak. If you can start, jumpstart what I want to say right now, I have no idea. I don't have a message. I'm just talking words, filling time. I have no thought to pass around. Now, if I have a thought, I still do the same thing. I have a thought, but my brain gets to pick the words. So the faster I start talking, the easier it is to let my words out without planning the words. If you can think of your speech as a series of short bursts, I'm working on my speech right now. I will speak in short bursts all the time. That's all I'm going to say at any time is 1 to 3 words or so. I'll start fast, speak slowly, but run my words together. Start fast and run my words together. And all I'm going to say, I will not plan what I say. Say after me, I will not plan.
I will.
You stop talking. I will not plan.
I will not plan.
See the difference? Yeah. I will not plan.
I will not plan.
My words.
Mm,
Don't think. My words.
my words.
Because
Because
it's very easy.
it's very easy.
to say words. You're thinking about words. To say words.
To say words.
When I don't plan them.
When I don't plan them.
Speaking spontaneously is like reacting to a slap in the face. If somebody slapped you in the face right now, you'd automatically say, ouch, or something like that, without thinking about it. You wouldn't stutter it because it's an automatic reaction. It actually, in that case, overpowers your reaction to hesitate, think a word, fear it, and force it. Those 4 steps is what you're trying to beat. When you start fast, when you start immediately as if you've been slapped, there's no time to think, plan, fear, and force. So it's all about how fast you can start. And then it's simply link whatever it is you have to say to a stop. But it's all about how fast can you start. If you hesitate at all, you lost. You lost. Now, so you say, oh, I know that's my habit. I know. So that's the habit we got to break. How do you break it? Do something else. In this case, do not hesitate. Now, saying a sound does break the block as long as you connect the sound to the word. If you hold the sound and think about the word, you still have a problem.
Yeah.
While you're thinking about the sound, you don't have a problem. The minute when you hold it too long, you start thinking about the word. So then you're still stuck. But if you think about the sound as you say the word, you won't have a problem. So say after me, radio.
Radio.
Program.
Program.
Job.
Job.
Mother.
Mother.
Father.
Father.
Sister.
Sister.
Brother.
Brother.
Uncle.
Uncle.
Aunt.
Aunt.
Grandfather.
Grandfather.
Grandmother.
Grandmother.
You see how easy it is when you focus on the sound, not on the word, and just add the word. Now, believe me, your mind can supply words to handle anything you want to say. And it can do it, really, if you leave it alone, it can do it faster than you can do it with planning. I'll guarantee you that, even if you didn't stutter. Every word I'm saying to you is provided by my mind at the speed of light, literally. It's way ahead. My brain is way ahead of me, and your brain is way ahead of you. The difference is I'm not interfering with my brain, you are. The habit that you have is what's interfering with your brain. So when you start the sound, you have to keep thinking about the sound, and you got to have reckless disregard for the words, because I'm not thinking any words I'm saying to you. I'm saying dozens and hundreds of words. And I'm not thinking one word. Not one word. I have thoughts. I have no words. My brain has the words. You are trying to learn to rely on your brain. But the minute you slow down and think words, think about the word, you're stuck. If you think about the sound or anything else, you won't stutter. Now, you can also think about how you say things like you really mean it. If you have enough over-the-top emotion about how you say things, that will overwhelm stuttering too. There are many things that will. Shouting will, singing will, whispering often does. There are lots of things that do. And you don't have to use any one, you can use them all, different times. So, say after me. I love to speak
I love to speak
in an over-the-top way.
in an over-the-top way.
I really put out my feelings,
I really put out my feelings,
my positive emotions.
my positive emotions.
I don't say my negative emotions.
I don't say my negative emotions.
I polish them up
I polish them up
and make them positive.
and make them positive.
And then I say them.
And then I say them.
It's easy when you do that, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But you're not holding back. You're just throwing it out there.
Yep.
And you're focusing hard on how you say it. You can't think two things at once. Nobody can. The human mind works sequentially, one thing, one thought at a time. So, when you think nothing and try to talk, the automatic habit kicks in. So you say you're trying to do your speech plan, short, link, stop. And that's good if you do it. But you're not doing it enough to beat the problem. So, if you can really say, I really want to commit myself, say that.
I really want to commit myself
To saying things like I mean them.
to saying things like I mean them.
I can feel my energy.
I can feel my energy.
And talking this way
And talking this way
is so much better
is so much better
than stuttering.
than stuttering.
Stutterers hold back their speech. They hold back their thoughts. They hold back their words. They hold back a lot of things. Most humans do. But stutterers get hung up on words. So that's what we're working on. It's all about not holding back. It's a simple concept. I will talk, say that.
I will talk
Before I think.
before I think.
As most people do.
As most people do.
I will talk.
I will talk
Before I think.
before I think.
It's fun.
It's fun.
I think if your speech plan were talk before I think, all words as one, all words as one, and stop. Talk before I think, all words as one, and stop. Is that your dog or my dog?
It's no.
Hey, wait a minute. Put something into it. Throw it at me. Hit me with it.
It's both of them, I think.
Okay. All right. Okay, so talking before you think means you don't think. It means you talk, but you don't think. Your thought. While it's okay to think thoughts, it's not okay to think words. And frankly, most of the time, you can think simultaneously when you speak. Your brain is way ahead of you. So the trick for you is to start talking immediately, but keep it short, all words as one, and use lots of stops. And you got to be reckless in your willingness to speak. You know, you don't care what comes out of your mouth. You're not going to swear or say something insulting or mean or anything else. You won't. You won't. I'm not doing it. You won't do it. If your intentions are good, you won't do it. So everything is about talk before I think. All right? All right, I'm going to say words. And I want you to say any word that comes to your mind other than the word I said. If I said tall, you might say short, but you could say ice cream. You know, there's no correct answer. It doesn't matter what you say. But I just want you to react to what I say with a word. The reaction is immediate speech. It's talking before you think. It's again like you were slapped in the face. You don't have to think to say ow. So, same thing here. You don't have to think. You should not think. I want you to speak instantly without thinking. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Tall.
Short.
Fat.
Small.
Mother.
Father.
Brother.
Headphones.
Uncle.
Short.
School.
Road.
Beach.
Sea.
Water.
Fast.
Snow ski.
Snowboard.
Good. You didn't have a problem on one word, did you?
No, I didn't.
Look, don't make this hard. It's not hard. You can do this, man. You can do it, and you can do it now. And the more you do it, the easier it is to do it. It's progressive. It's a snowball. Once you get it going, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Did you come to Sam meeting last week? I don't remember. Last Saturday. Did you come? Well, did you hear somebody ask Prathusia if she ever had a bad day? I think that was the question. And she said, or does she ever feel super pressure or something like that? Do you have a bad day, or do you ever feel super pressure? I can't remember exact question. And she said, I don't do that anymore. She's free of it. And she stopped stuttering in 2016, 8 years ago, almost, was in the fall. And her speech has gotten better and better and better and better and better and better and better. She doesn't think about her speech like a stutterer at all. And I don't either. I think Danny is very close to the same. Javi's still working on it. Javi, like you, stuttered every single word. But Javi can go, if he's sitting with a bunch of stutterers, they say, well, he chops a couple of words, they say he stutters. But fluent people don't think he does, because he goes out and have lunch with a bunch of fluent people, and they don't notice anything strange about his speech, because he talks like everyone else in the world. And he's working on the chop. But he's been doing it a long time. It takes a while. He'll get it. He'll get it. He'll get it. He stays with it. But it's amazing how fast some people put this thing behind them. It's shocking. So anyway, the whole thing is about daring to speak without thinking. That's your challenge, to speak without thinking. Okay. I'll ask you questions. And look, as long as you're under pressure, it's true. The less words you say, the less risks you have. And the easier, and the more you speak successfully without appearing speech disabled, the easier it becomes to say more and more and more and more and more without running afoul of the problem. So beating it for a severe stutterer, it's easier to speak less and use some avoidance. Another way to say it is, don't say what isn't necessary. Somebody says, what's your name? You don't say, my name is Sean, you say Sean. Now, you may find when you're reacting, when you're not planning anything, and you just spit out anything that comes to mind, you may say, my name is Sean, I don't know. And that'll be okay. But I'm just saying, in a general sense, if you're in a group, for example, and you're feeling a lot of heat, I'm not asking you not to talk, because long term, you got to talk under pressure in order to learn to do it. But I am saying initially, teach yourself in smaller bites. Don't try and curl the 50-pound weight the first day in the gym. Curl the 5-pound weight and the 10-pound weight and then the 20 and so forth. So we work our way up to the extent we can. Life doesn't always give us that luxury. Sometimes we're forced to talk under more pressure than we probably should. And then we have to use extreme measures to be careful not to have a bad incident. But just in general, as long as you're feeling a lot of pressure, talk less, but talk. And use your speech plan. And I'm suggesting now that your plan is talk before you think. And when you do, all words is one to a stop. Talk before you think. All words is one. Stop. Now, okay. So I ask you questions. Let out anything you want. Do you like to stutter?
No.
Would you like to be fluent?
Yes.
Where were you born?
In Israel.
Have you ever been to America? Now, what did we say about questions and answers? Yes, no, and I don't know. What did we say about that?
That
You're planning
that I need to nod.
when you get a question, most questions can be answered yes, no, or I don't know. If you nod and say yes at the same time, it'll be easier. Or no. Do it. Yes.
Yes.
No. No. I don't know.
I don't know.
And a lot of times speaking softly makes it easier too. It's a combination of things. All right, so we're back to answering questions. So, have you ever been to America?
Yes.
And where did you go?
I've been to New York, and Boston and Florida.
Okay. When did you do that?
In the summer of 2016, I think.
Good. And have you ever been to London?
Yes.
Okay. How about Scotland?
Scotland, no.
Ireland?
Not yet. No.
France?
Yes.
Italy?
Yes.
Russia?
No.
Okay. Prague?
Yes.
Beautiful out here.
Yeah.
Good. See, you're keeping your answers short. You're not having any trouble at all. And if you have a few words that are easy to, again, you're trying to teach yourself to speak without any planning. That's the key. That's the goal. To talk without planning. You can do it. You need no planning to speak. If you're giving a speech, it's another story. You plan it, you write it out, you read it, you memorize it, whatever. But in conversation, there's no planning needed. Everybody just talks and they think as they speak, or a little bit behind their speaking, actually. And that's a habit you're trying to cultivate. Talking while you're thinking. Again, if you keep it in short increments and have stops of 1 second or more, keep it short, have your stops. It's easy to speak spontaneously because it takes no effort. It takes no planning. It's again like reacting to a slap in the face in many ways. Or if somebody gave you a delicious piece of pie or whatever. You go, wow, it's delicious, terrific, love it. We're reversing speech planning and creating instantaneous speech. Short, full of stops. No thinking. No thinking. Say after me, I love to speak
I love to speak
without thinking.
without thinking.
It's so much fun.
It's so much fun.
When I repeat words, wow, is that you or me? Oh. I'm on a call.
All right, call back.
All right. I'm going to end this recording here.